Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. Fantastic Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, good. We are live on the YouTubes. Yes, we are. We are live on the YouTubes. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. Let's see about X. Are we live on the X? Let's see. Let's see. All right. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. We are live on the X. Yes, we are. Are we live on the Twitch? Let's take a look and see if we are. Yes, we are. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Goody, goody, goody. All right. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Let me just get myself all set up and ready to go. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's get this set up. Let's send out these messages over here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Get that sent out. Boom, right there. All right. All right. There we are. Bop right there. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we are. Oh, let me fix that right there. All right. Get this all set up over here. All right. Get that set there. All right. Get that there. Boom. That's done right there. All right. Send this out over here on the YouTubes. Share this on X. Get ourselves all set up. All right. All right. Get this set up here and there. All right. All right. All right. Let me get my glasses on. Get my glasses. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And I hope you guys are had a wonderful and beautiful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever it is you celebrate. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and hope you guys are having a I hope you guys will have a wonderful New Year because New Year's Eve is going to be, I believe, actually no, the day after tomorrow, I believe. Let me see. Is it the day after tomorrow? I think it's the day after. Yeah, day after tomorrow. So on Wednesday, you got New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day is on Thursday. Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeesh, that's what we got going on. All right, so, ladies and gents, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. Hope you guys are going to have a fantastic New Year's. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, really. And wonderful holidays and all that good stuff. Festive fervor from me and on behalf of the Coach Nick Money community and fam, I say festive fervor to all of you. All right. So that's what we got going on right there. Yes, sir. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting ourselves all set up here. And yeah, that's what we got going on here. That is what we got going on here. So let's get ourselves all set up here. Bop right there. All right. All right. Get this set up over here. All right. Boom over here. And then boom over here. All right. Beautiful. All right. So let's get the intro started. What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks. And welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, aka the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she likes to get shot at the cannon and she goes, whee! Other times she likes to go to RBs and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go and find some stonks that, are good on the ABCDs. She did call some wonderful stonks like RPGL, MASK, and of course, wait, come on, I got ASST. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. We call her DBL Moms. Hey! All right. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. So before we begin, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, as of now, we got some amazing stonks that we have been taking a look at and keeping an eye on. We have quite a few wonderful stonks. But before we get into that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell icon. Stay notified when new videos are uploaded. Remember to share. Check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So let's get ourselves all set up here. Boom. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys been, man? How was your weekend? I hope it was good. Me, I got to chill with my family. I got to chill with some friends. Got to do all that good stuff. It was a good time. It was a very, very good time. So, yeah, that's what we got going on there, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So let's take a look over here. Let's take a look at some of the stonks that we've been calling. RPGL, we called this one earlier in the day. It ran up a nice 113%. RPGL. Called this one for the private Discord. Call this one for the private Discord community. It ran prior to it running up 113% right there. Yes, sir. All right. Got that going on. Hold on. All right. 1 second. 1 second. Bop right there. There we are. RPGL ran up a nice 113%. Called it on the private Discord before it ran up. So we got that going on right there. Ran up a nice 113%. We called MASK. MASK ran up a nice 70%. 70%. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. We called ANL. ANL ran up a nice 74%. 74%. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right there. ANL ran up 74%. Bop right there. We called FTEL. FTEL ran up a nice 61%. 61% right there. Called FTEL. We called BNAI. BNAI ran up 51%. All right, and we called SOPA. SOPA. We called this one. It ran up 45%. 45%. And that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Okay, hold on. There we go. Get this set up right there. All right. There we go. All right. All right. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got going on. That is what we got going on so far today. Okay. All right. Let me just check and make sure everything's copacetic on the Yobe tubes. Alex Martinez said I had to reset my mobile device, but did you check in on BNAI? I have not checked in on BNAI yet. We called BNAI earlier in the morning. Called it early in the morning. Early in the morning over here. So let's get this started over here. BNAI, we will take a look at that. Let's start off with BNAI. BNAI. All right. BNAI currently up 33%. Ran up a nice high of 55%. So we got that going on right there. Let's get this over here. Boom. Right here. So we got BNAI, which made a bit of a pennant, is kind of fighting its way above the VWAP right now. It's trying to stay above the VWAP right here. Can it break through this little bit of a... Hold on, one standby. Let me fix this here. And this here. Boom. Right there. So can it break through this pennant? We'll have to see. Looks like it's trying to test the pennant right now, and it's trying to stay above the VWAP. So BNAI, as of now, BNAI trying to stay above the VWAP. Has a 4 million float, 17 million volume. So that's what it's doing right now. So it's trying to stay above the VWAP as of now and break through that pennant right there. So it's got that going on right there for it. BNAI trying to stay above the pennant right there and also trying to stay above the VWAP. Needs to try to break through that pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Alex Martinez says, I had to reset my mobile device. Did you check on BNAI? Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in at $1.41, hoping it cooked. I hope it cooks for you as well, man. I hope it does, brother. I hope it does. I hope it does. It is currently at $1.59, so hopefully you are making a good profit, my friend. It is now $1.62 and trying to break above the VWAP, so hopefully we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look over here. Had some moments of being oversold, but then kind of came back up. Was a bit overbought earlier in the RSI and then came back down. It is now pretty much indifferent on the RSI, so we got that going on right there. It is trying to break through the pennant right here. Just trying to break through this pennant right over here. Bot right there. Bot right there. Let's get that set up. Bot right there. All right. So as of now, it is trying to break above the VWAP, or not the VWAP. It is trying to break above the pennant right now. So we got that going on right there. Hopefully it can continue. It is up $1.66, 167, and climbing, ladies and gentlemen. It is climbing its way on up. Let's take a look at some support and resistance lines over here. So we got support at the standby right here. We got some support at the $1.63 mark, resistance at $1.74, and then 191 right over there. So we got that going on right there. Right now, it looks like it's cooking its way on up to $1.74 right now. It is 172. Up my, oh my, it broke up to 175, 177. Currently, it is breaking through the resistance points right here. It is breaking above resistance. BNAI broke the pennant, broke above the pennant right there. BNAI broke above the pennant and is testing resistance lines. So you got that going on right there. BNAI testing the resistance lines as of now. Poking 174, trying to break above 174. It is testing that resistance line right there. Can it break through? We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Let's see. BNAI, though, currently climbing its way on up, needs to break above 174, needs to break above 191, needs to do these things for it to remain somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let's see about... Let's take a look at RPGL. RPGL. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 200. Let's get the 200, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 200, 200, 200. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see about RPGL. Currently, RPGL did have a nice move upward to 113%. Came across this little bit of resistance right here at the 55-cent mark, and then kind of went back down and formed a bit of a downward trend over here. Needs to break above the downtrend and needs to break above the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Otherwise, it's just, man, you know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get this over here. RPGL needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to nya. Has some unconfirmed Q3 earnings due in 11 days from now on to Friday, January 9th, before the market opens. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at AEHL. AEHL currently very low volume on the stock right here. AEHL has a 3 million float, 1 million volume. That's what we got going on for the stock. Had a bit of a double top right over here. Had a bit of resistance at the $1.87 mark, went back down, created a bit of a downtrend over, boom, right here. Tried to curl its way back up on some very low volume, very, very choppy as of now. AEHL, very choppy, very, very choppy. AEHL, choppy, needs to break above the VWAP with some volume. All right. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at MASK. MASK currently above, well, actually was above the VWAP, before basically dropping its way back down and forming a bit of a descending wedge. Let me get the graffiti pencil over here. Bop and bop. Needs to break above the descending wedge and above the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Has some fiscal year earnings that are unconfirmed due in 11 days on Friday, January 9th, just before the market opens. So we got that going on right there. MASK had a high of 70%. Went back down and is now at 43%. Needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So we got that going on right there. MASK needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAP to remain somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. TOVX. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how TOVX is doing. All right, so TOVX has news. It is up 27%. Has news that Therivia Biologics shares are trading higher after the company announced the European Medicines Agency provided overall agreement with the proposed Phase 3 clinical trial design of VCN-01 in metastatic pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on with TOVX. They had an agreement with the European Medicines Agency, and they have a Phase 3 clinical trial designed for their VCN-01 in metastatic pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. So we got that going on right there. That's what we got going on right there. Let's see what we got over here. Boom. All right. As of now, this stock is kind of sort of just consolidated above the view up a little bit consolidated. Actually, let me get rid of this over here, and let me just get this up here. Boom, boom, and boom. All right, so it has to break above this pennant. Is currently above the VWAP, so that's a good thing, but needs to break above the pennant for it to be somewhat schmaxy to mya. There we go. So TOVX needs to break above the pennant for it to be somewhat schmaxy to mya. All right, ANL. Let's see how ANL is doing. Has a 31 million float, 18 million volume, $2.12. Currently 29% upward. Has a bit of a pennant right here, and right here, and here. So as of now, ANL is currently below the VWAP, needs to break above the VWAP, needs to break above this pennant for it to be so much maxi to me. Has some unconfirmed H1 earnings. It'll do in 11 days on Friday, January 9th, just before the market opens. So we got that going on right there. Details, ANL, right there. Needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be so much maxi to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. SOPA currently curling upward over here. Has a pennant going on right over here. Needs to break above this pennant. Needs to break above the VWAPA. Up 19%. So, yeah, needs to break through both of those for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So, SOPA needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. BNAI. How's BNAI doing? BNAI curled up, found resistance at the 74-cent mark, and started going back down. Needs to remain friends with the trend for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. BNAI needs to remain friends with the trend. Yes, needs to remain friends with the trend for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. There we go. Right there. Let's get a share party going, by the way. Let's get to 300. Let's get to 300, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 300. Let's 300. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let me see here. Let's go into my requests. Let's see. Alrighty. All right. All right. Somebody requested NUAI. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at FTEL. FTEL currently on a downtrend over here, and then started to try and curl its way on up slowly but surely. Needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much maxi to me. But FTEL needs to break the VWAP, broke the down trend, and is curling up. If you look at FTEL, 2 million float, 14 million volume, so it has the volume for it. So we got that going on right there. Let's take a look at NUAI. NUAI, somebody requested NUAI. NUAI currently not looking schmexy, very choppy. Very, very choppy as of now. NUAI, let's see. NUAI, very choppy with low volume. So we got that going on right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Woo. Okay. So we got that going on right there. Somebody requested OPTX. OPTX. Let's take a look at OPTX. OPTX very choppy with low volume. Not looking too schmexy. Not looking too schmexy. OPTX choppy with low volume. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. All right. ASPC. ASPC. How's ASPC doing? ASPC is moving up on low volume. Has a 5 million float. 393,000 volume. ASPC is moving up on low volume right here. ASPC moving up on low volume right there. That's what we got going on. Yes, sir. That is what we got going on. Okay, okay. All right. Let's see here. Somebody requested CGC. CGC. Let's take a look at CGC. Let's take a look at it. CGC. CGC very choppy and barcoded. Not looking too schmexy. Not looking too schmexy as of now. CGC. Choppy and barcoded. Needs volume to break the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Somebody requested TOVX. TOVX. We called TOVX. No, we did not. We did not call TOVX. So TOVX as of now needs to break above this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Did try to peek above it a little bit, but went back down. Kind of consolidated along the pennant, so we kind of need to break it. We need to break it above. We need to break above that pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So TOVX consolidated needs to break the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right. So as of now, we got that. Somebody requested ZCMD. ZCMD. ZCMD currently below the VWAP. Very choppy as well. Not a lot of volume going on there. ZCMD. Very choppy. And below the VWAPA. Alright. Alright. Very choppy and below the VWAPA. Alright. Ooh, had to get that stretching. Ooh, okay. Alright, let's see here. Somebody requested MASK. MASK, that one we called, ran up a nice 70%. Needs to try and break above that descending wedge. Can it break through? We shall see what happens. Can it break above that descending wedge? MASK trying. Actually, excuse me. Can it break the descending wedge? We shall see. We shall see if it can break that descending wedge. We shall see. All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? All right. So, BNAI, we actually called this one for the private Discord. Ran up a nice 51% since then. BNAI. Yeesh. All right. So that's what we got going on there. Let's take a look at BNAI. BNAI. There we go. There we are. All right. BNAI, as of now, trying to remain somewhat. Hold on. All right. Behave. All right. There we go. BNAI curling above the pennant, trying to test that. Oh, wait, nope. It peaked above it. BNAI peaking above the resistance line right now. Peaking above that resistance line. Peaking above the resistance line. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see about. Let's see. Let's take a look at RPGL. RPGL. Let's take a look over here. It is currently up 68%. Had a high of 113%. Ran up. Now it is currently on a bit of a downtrend. Needs volume to remain somewhat schmexy to meow. All right, so RPGL needs to break the downtrend. It needs to break this downtrend. It's still on the downtrend, so it needs to break it for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. All right, RPGL needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA with some volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. All right. Let's get a share party going, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 600. Let's get the 600. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And our early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me at him. Let's see here.
BNAI moving.
Oh my, BNAI moving. BNAI, how's BNAI doing? Cup and handle. Oh my. BNAI cup and handle bull pattern. All right, BNAI cup and handle. Oh my. All right, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And ladies and gentlemen, if you get our 4-day trial, you gain access to the amazing market mover scanner right over here, which shows the change in percentage, the picks, the tickers, the price, the volume, the float, whether the stock is moving up or down, the time at which it was scanned, and to top it off, you get hyperlinks which contain all of this information, plus the charts, plus the news, plus all sorts of other cool stuff as well, just by clicking these little hyperlinks in here. You also get access to the newsroom, which gives you all sorts of articles consisting of news pertaining to different stocks within the stock market, right? You get synopses over here. You get the hyperlink to the full article right over here. All you got to do is click into it, and you get access to the ticker that is affected by the news within said article right below here, which, it'd be like that right there. So, yeah. All right. Yeesh. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, also as a part of the real-time emergent scanners, you gain access to the stock ticker tape, which gives access to all the tickers that we are currently keeping an eye on, as well as some other excellent things, such as the educational community, the educational group of people within the community. It is all a place of education, learning, and yeah, just the place of education, learning, and yeah, respect and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. I love this community. It's a very, very good community. They like to build themselves up. They like to build each other up. They like to build everybody up and make sure that everybody is making their money. So we got that going on right there. Yes, sir. That is what we got going on. So it is an educational community right there. All right. So, yeah. That's what we got going on there, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So, yeah, let's take a look at some other stonks here. Let's see what other stonks we got. Somebody requested SOBR. SOBR. Very, very choppy. It is moving up, but it is very, very choppy and low volume. Moving up on some choppiness and low volume. So man. SOBR moving up on very low volume and needs all right, moving up on very low volume and needs to remain friends with the trend and break the bar coding. All right. All right. Okay. So, let's see here. ASPC. How's ASPC doing? How's ASPC doing? ASPC still on the uptrend right now on some low volume. Has a flat 5 million float, which is relatively reasonable. Volume is 723,000. So we got that going on, folks. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. ASPC slowly cooking. I got it on Friday for $20. Hey, there you go, man. There you go. Currently, it is up 32. So, hope you made a lot of money there, Alex. I hope you made a lot of money. Yes, sir. All right. ASPC still moving up on some low volume there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. ASPC. All right. Needs to keep climbing on that low volume right there. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, as of now, let's take a look at another stonk here. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at SOPA again. SOPA. All right. SOPA. SOPA! All right. SOPA, as of now, currently trying to curl above that pennant. Needs to still break the VWAP, but SOPA is trying to curl above that pennant right there and curl just off of it. So we got that going on right there. SOPA needs to break above the VWAPA, curling slightly off the pennant. Yeesh. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let's see here. RPGL. Still on that downtrend. RPGL needs volume. Needs volume for it to be so much mexy to meow. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 900. 900, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 900. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on now. Come on now. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get something real quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like WOK is moving. Moving. WOK has a float of 835,000, volume of 309,000. It is moving up on some low volume right now, but it is moving. Hold on, let me just zoom in the room over here. Yep. WOK suddenly had a price spike on some low volume right there, so it is moving. Moving right now, up 58%. WOK. WOK moving up on low volume right now. WOK doing its thing right here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with it right now. Let's take a look at the news for the stonk. WOK up 64%, by the way. All right. Has news that came out today that Work Medical Technology Group Limited, which is the name of the company, subsidiary, obtains manufacturing approval for its AI automated blood cell morphology analyzer. So we got that going on right there. Work Medical Technology receives a Hunan Provincial Medical Products Administration approval for Class 2 medical device as well. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on with this stock right here. Again, has a float of 835,000. Volume is now climbed up to 530,000 as well. So it looks like WOK walk might be potentially curling its way on up now. 73%, 73% right there, and climbing and climbing and climbing. WOK shot up to 73% right there. So it's got that going on. Keeping an eye on it right now. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm a little bit curiosity. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens with the stunk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1100. Let's get to 1100, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So, as of now, currently we are chilling. WOK now up 68%. Had a nice move. We'll see what happens with it. We shall see what happens with it. But for now, keeping an eye on these other stocks right here. Keeping an eye on these other stocks right here. SOPA, SOPA. SOPA curling off the pennant right now. All right. So, as of now, SOPA needs to remain friends with that trend and break through the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. SOPA needs to remain friends with the trend and break that VWAP. Boom, right there. Alex Martinez says RPGL curling. Let's take a look. RPGL. Yes, sir. Looks like it might be curling off that downtrend a little bit. Looks like it's trying to curl off that downtrend. Walk now up 89%. Now up 89% right there. Boom, baby. There we go. RPGL. Looks like it's curling its way on up. Can it break the VWAPA? RPGL. Yes. That 50-cent VWAP right there. RPGL curling off the pennant, off the downtrend, actually, off the downtrend, and needs to break the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's take a look at WOK. WOK up 101%. Bagger, baby. There we go. 103%. 104% right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. WOK, new bagger, baby. Hold on. Where's my pen? There's my pen right there. WOK. Hold on. WOK up 119%. 119% new bagger. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. So, let me take a look over here. WOK. New bagger. And by the way, the float is higher than the volume now. New bagger. Up 119%. Called it. Baby. Woo. Yes, sir. WOK up 119%. Up 119%. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, all right. All right. So, WOK still doing its thing right here. Still on that uptrend. All right. Now, WOK seems to be trying to curl its way on up. Needs to break that 119% line over there. Let's get it right here, actually. Right here. Needs to break above $6.36 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Come on now. Come on now. Can it break? We shall see. We shall see. I'm going to keep an eye on this one for about a minute or two. Keep an eye on it. See what it does. If it goes below the 545 line, I'm going to move on to another stonk. Yep. I'm going to move on to another stonk. WOK needs to break above that double top right there. $5.84. Needs to break above $5.84 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. All right, let's take a look at SOPA, SOPA. SOPA trying to curl a little bit. Still needs to break above that VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. So SOPA curling a little bit. Trying to curl at least. Trying to curl off that pennant. SOPA still trying to curl off the pennant. Needs to break the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 1300. 1300. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners by clicking the link in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. Ladies and gentlemen, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial right there. You get access to our amazing market mover scanners right over here, which shows the ticker percentage point, the time at which it was scanned, whether it went up or down, the ticker itself, the stock, the price, the volume, the float. You can click through the little hyperlinks. You get access to all that information, plus the charts, plus the news and all that other good stuff. You get access to the newsroom as well, where you basically can check out a bunch of different articles with hyperlinks to the full articles, as well as hyperlinks to the tickers affiliated with the news within said articles. And you also get access to the ticker tape, which is amazing, by the way. Basically shows all the tickers that we've been keeping an eye on, and then some. And then to top it off, you get access to an amazing community of people who are very supportive, very much so. They like to build up themselves. They like to build each other up. They like to grow together. They like to make money. And pretty much it's just a beautiful community all around. And if you join the Wealth Builders, you get all that, plus exclusive Wealth Builders content, exclusive Wealth Builders picks. You get exclusive Wealth Builders access to coaching money, and to top it off, you get exclusive access to exclusive content and educational content, as well as the educational courses, with approximately probably way over 500 different videos of stocks pertaining to the stock market and other things to top it off. So yeah, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right, so yeah. That's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So, now SOPA is done here. SOPA is done for now. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. So, let's take a look over here at another stunk. RPGL. What's RPGL doing? RPGL curling, still on that uptrend slightly, trying to test that VWAP a little bit. RPGL still curling on up. Needs to break the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Mm-hmm. All right. So, let's see here. RPGL, by the way, has a bit of a double top forming right here. Needs to break above the 48-cent mark for it to be so much maxi to mia. All right, all right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, just give me 1 second, 1 second. Just gotta grab something else real quick. Be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I am back. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 1500. 1500, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got going on here. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. So, you got ASPC, ASPC. Let's see here. ASPC. ASPC is still above the VWAP. Very choppy, though, as of now. Above the VWAP, but choppy. All right. ASPC. ASPC. Above the VWAP. ABO. Above the VWAPA. Very choppy as of now. So you got that going on right there. Let's drink this. All right. Let's see about WOK. WOK up 93%. All right. So, Work Medical Technology Group shares are trading higher after the company announced its subsidiary, Hunan Saitomofe, received manufacturing approval from the Hunan Provincial Medical Products Administration for its Class 2 medical device, the Artificial Intelligence Automated Human Blood Cell Morphology Analyzer. So we got that going on right there. That's a mouthful, that whole statement right there. Pause when I say that. But beyond that, that is a big name. I mean, wow. Okay. All right. Has to break through this little pennant right over here. Has to break the pennant and has to break above the VWAP for it to be so much maxi to mia. WOK. WOK needs to break the VWAPA and the pennant for it to be so much maxi to mia. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What other stonks we got? What other stonks we got here? Somebody requested ORBS. So let's take a look at ORBS. ORBS currently needs to break above this pennant right here for it to remain somewhat schmexy to Mia. Has some news that 8Co shares are trading higher after the company announced a share buyback program for up to $125 million right there. So we got that going on. ORBS needs to break the pennant and needs to stay above the VWAP right there. So ORBS needs to break the pennant and stay above the VWAPA for it to be so much maxi to mia. There we go. There we go. All right, let's take a look at DZZ. Someone requested it. DZZ moving up on some low volume right there. DZZ. DZZ moving up on low volume. All right. All right, all right, all right. ASPC. Needs to remain friends with the trend there. WOK. Not WOK. WOK curling off the pennant. Curling off the pennant. WOK curling off the pennant right now. WOK curling off the pennant. There we go. All right. Trying to break through that resistance point right there at the $5.84 mark. It is now $5.89. It's trying to stay above it. Trying to creep above it. Trying to stay above it. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. So let's see what else we got. What else we got here? So WOK doing its thing right there, trying to break through 584. Let's see about another stonk here. What are the stonks we got? What other stonks do we have? Let's see. Somebody requested DTCK. DTCK below the VWAP. Not looking too schmexy as of now. Below the VWAP. All right. So we got that going on right there. DTCK. Low volume. Hold on. There we go. Needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to nya. There we go. That's what we got going on. WOK, what's it doing right now? WOK curling its way on up once again. Right there. Trying to slowly climb its way back up. Once again. It went up to 112 and then went back down a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. Let's get a share party going, by the way. Let's get to 1700. 1700, and be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what else we got. Let me at him. All right. Somebody requested NVIDIA. All right, fine. So let's check it out. NVDA currently heavy price. Obviously heavy floating. The volume is probably lower. But currently, right now, it is in a bit of a downtrend right there. Needs to break above this downtrend for it to be so much maxi to mya. NVDA expensive, needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA for it to be so much maxi to mya. NVDA needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA. right. Here we go. All right. Abe asks for a WAP, or Abe. Abe asks for WAP. WOK. WOK went up a little bit and then proceeded to go back down a little bit as well. So we got that going on right there. Had its nice time in the sun at 119%. 119%. On news that Work Medical Technology Group shares are trading higher after the company announced its subsidiary Hunan Saitomofe received manufacturing approval from the Hunan Provincial Medical Products Administration for its Class 2 medical service, the Artificial Intelligence Automated Human Blood Cell Morphology Analyzer. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's see here. All right. All right, all right, all right. 4 minutes until the bell. The bell. It deafens me. All right. Okay, let's see what else happens here. What else we got? Hold on. Let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look at another stonk here. Let's take a look at another stonk. Let's see about. All right. Let's take a look back on BNAI. BNAI currently curling up off the VWAP over here. Hold on, let me move this over here. All right. So currently curling its way up off the VWAP right over here. Boom, right there. All right. BNAI curling off the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. All right, so let's see what else we got here. What else do we have? Let's see. Let's take a look at MASK. Mask. All right, mask. Let's get a share party going on as well. Let's get to 1900. 1900, ladies and gentlemen. 1900. All right, so let's take a look at MASK. Still not looking too schmexy here. Not schmexy. Still needs to break the descending wedge in the VWAP over here. Still needs to do that for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So, MASK needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAP for me. All right. All right. Let's see. How's WOC holding up? WOK. How's WOC holding up? WOC is currently a little bit consolidated at the moment. A little bit consolidated. Needs to break that pennant. Oh, it's time for the bell. It make the ringy dingy. It made the wee woo. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. There we go. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Super Mario. Yes. Okay. There we go. WOK needs to break the pennant. Actually, no. It needs to break the pennant. Actually, needs to break the pennant for it to be so much Mexi to me. Yes, sir. Needs to break that pennant. Needs to. It needs it. It needs it. Yes. I needs it. The precious. My precious. Okay, all right. We're done. We're done. All right, let's settle down. All right. I'm acting crazy. I'm doing my Gollum impression. I watched a little bit of Lord of the Rings. There we go. BNAI moving. Let's see how BNAI is doing. BNAI moving. Oh my, up 67% right there. BNAI shot up like a rocket just now. BNAI. James Vincent says morning. Good morning, Vincent. Good morning, James. How you doing? BNAI up 78%. BNAI shot up like a rocket and broke the high of day. Oh my. Up 81% now. 81%. Oh my. Yeesh. Oh my. Wait. It's still going. 84%. Migration. Up 85% now. 85. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Alrighty. Let's see here. Alright. So, as of now, BNAI had that nice shot upward to 84%. 84% right there. So we got that going on right there. BNAI went up to 84% right there. Alex Martinez asks for ASPC. ASPC on the uptrend right now. Still on the uptrend over here. All right. All right. So, as of now, let's get a share party going to 2100. 2100, ladies and gentlemen. ASPC on an uptrend, but still kind of choppy. A little bit choppy. Because the float is 5 million, volume is 1 million. So we got that going on right there. BNAI moving once again. BNAI. Oh my, 87% right there. 87% BNAI, now up 87% right there. BNAI. Moving up 89%, up. BNAI now 90%. 90%. BNAI up 90%. There we go. All right. There we are. NTRB just came in. Let's see how it's doing. NTRB shot up on low volume. Yep, popped and dropped. NTRB shot up on low volume and then dropped. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at DXST, DXST, DXST right here. DXST moved on low volume as well. DXST, very low volume right there. There we go, right there. All right. All right, what else we got? What else we got? So let's see how BNAI is holding up. BNAI, oh my, up 95%. Up 95%. Can it become a new bagger? Can it become a new bagger? BNAI, BNAI shot up all the way to 95% right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So as of now, BNAI now up 95%. Went back down to 91. But had that nice shot upward over there. Let's see what other stonks we got. Let me fix this here. Bop right there. All right. And yes, we call this one on our private Discord. Ladies and gentlemen. BNAI called this on our private Discord. Now ran up a nice 95%. 95% right there. Let's take a look at ASPC while we're keeping an eye out here. ASPC shot up but has a bit of a doji over here. ASPC still needs a bit more volume. ASPC needs more volume over here for it to be so much maxi to meow. Give me 1 second. Let's take a look at the crowd favorite, ASST. ASST, oh my, shot up like crazy just now. I mean, well, shot up to up 1 cent, but had this little price spike over here. So ASST, price spike on very low volume. BYND. BYND price spike needs to break the double top there. Price spike needs to break the double top. ASPC just cooked. All right, good. All right, let me just take a look at open and then we'll take a look at ASPC. Open, moving up. Right now, just moving its way on up, still down 0.6%. Open, OPEN, moving up on low volume. There we go. Let's take a look at ASPC. ASPC shot up to 53%. 53%. All right. ASPC shot up to 53%. ASPC shot up to 53% right there. All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. Peace. Bye-bye. All right, actually, wait. Before we do, of course, be sure to check us out on our YouTube at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us there doing live streams. You can find us there doing videos, shorts, all sorts of cool stuff, stock reviews, stock analysis, etc. You can find us on X.com as well, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of stock reviews, stock analysis, and live streams. You can find us on Twitch, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on X.com, TikTok, Tiki-Taki, aka the Tac Tac. The Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS. And the screen name is Coach Nick Money. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. So much love. Take care of yourselves. You have a wonderful, wonderful evening. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. And I'm here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets shot out the cannon and she goes, whee! Other times she likes to go to Arby's and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Sometimes she likes to party. Other times she likes to go to Wendy's. Other times she likes to go to, I don't know, Aldi's. Right? Other times there are, there are times where she'll go to a Winn-Dixie. Other times where she will just, jet ski and she's just chilling on the Serengeti. And to top it off, she likes to steal my lo mein. She's used to it. We call her DB Moms. All right. So that's pretty much what we got going on there, folks. That is what we got going on. So be sure to check that out. Much love. Take care of yourselves. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. Be sure to stay tuned for the Power Play show coming at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starring the one, the only, the great one himself, Coach Nick Money, the legend. All right, the legend. He will be playing Fortnite while also doing some finance. He's going to be taking a look at some stonks prior to Power Hour, right? And he's going to basically give his honest assessment and honest opinions on them. And then after that, he's going to play some Fortnite as well. And then he's going to go back to the stonks, then back to the Fortnite. That's why it's called Power Plays, ladies and gentlemen. Power being reviewing the stonks before Power Hour, and plays being the game Fortnite. And by the way, he's becoming real goated at that game. I'm just saying, he's getting dubs galore. All right, he don't know how to act with them dubs. I'm just saying. I can't blame him either. All right, but yeah, be sure to check that out. Ladies and gentlemen. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later today.